And it's not like I'm staring into the camera begging to be invited to the premiere. That would be embarrassing. Hello everyone, I'm Mark Daniel Patrick. Thank you so much for checking out the channel. Let's get right into some comment reactions from last week's video. And first up is Christine, who says, I have become addicted to your channel. Love seeing someone who loves musical theater as much as I do. Can you react to some Sweeney Todd from the movie, please? Well, first of all, Christine, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And yes, I absolutely loved the film version of Sweeney Todd. I think right now, maybe Johnny Depp's getting a little bit of bad press, but I loved him in that role. I love him in a lot of musicals, actually. And Helena Bonham Carter, I mean, I think I've talked about it ad nauseum on this channel, how much I absolutely love her. But it's such a great musical. It has some really great songs in it. And despite maybe some negative reviews, I absolutely loved the movie. So yes, those will be coming maybe on our Patreon page more than on this channel. But I will let you know when we get to some Sweeney Todd, because it needs to come very, very soon. So thank you so much for that comment, Christine. Next up, we have Lawrence, who says, if casting were based on those who deserve to play it or earn the right to play it as opposed to who's appropriate to play it, then I'd suspend age disbelief yet again to cast Adina and Kristen in Wicked. Hey, I've released a couple of Wicked casting videos, and I believe I'm the only one who thinks they should do it, but those were both my #1 picks, absolutely, because I had the pleasure of seeing them in the original cast on Broadway, but now I don't care how many years later it is to see, they're going to be involved in the film somehow. They will be there, but I know it's a bit of a stretch now. I think Adina just celebrated her 50th birthday this week. It's a big stretch, don't get me wrong, but it would be amazing to see them reprise their roles in the film, because it's just... There's just never been another Elphaba that sounds maybe the way it should, right? Sorry, Stephanie J. Block. There's also never been another Galinda that sounds just like Kristen did. Those original casts are so special for a reason. It kind of sets the tone and sets the bar for what we're going to look for in those roles for years and years to come. So to get to see them in the film would be incredible. It's not going to happen, we all know it, but yes, I would be willing to suspend age disbelief as well, Lawrence, to get them in the film. But thank you so much for those comments. All right, let's take a look at some musical theater headlines for this week. And the biggest one by far has to be In the Heights, the musical. I mean, how long have we been waiting for this musical to be released? And the date is finally here. Now, I promise you we're going to talk a lot about this film on this channel in the coming weeks. But for right now, you can watch a reaction video to the entire opening number. That's right now on our Patreon page at the link below. And in other news this week, Frankie Valli announced that Nick Jonas has been tapped to lead a Jersey Boys event coming very soon. And Hamilton's Philippa Sue has been cast in a film adaptation of One True Loves, which is set to be directed by the Heathers the musical director, Andy Fickman. But the main story I wanted to focus on today was Andrew Lloyd Webber's return to the theater, as he presents a retelling of the ever-popular classic fairy tale, Cinderella. Now, Andrew Lloyd Webber is more than enough to draw a crowd, whether it's a story about felines, a colorful coat, the First Lady of Argentina, or a musical that's been open on Broadway ever since I was alive. I mean, he comes with a reputation. But today I wanted to take a slightly deeper look at 3 other reasons why anyone remotely close to London may in fact need to see this show. And our first reason is our director, Lawrence Connor, who has directed productions of Miss Saigon, Joseph, Phantom of the Opera, Les Miserables, Jesus Christ Superstar, and Broadway's School of Rock. And even in the midst of accomplishing all that, he has still found enough time to crawl around Middle-earth looking for his precious. Now, as Andrew Lloyd Webber has said himself, Lawrence is a little bit of an enigma in the fact that he understands classic musical theater, but he also has a bit of a rock and edgy side to him as well, which should serve this new musical quite well because it is the retelling of a classic fairy tale, but it seems to be served up on a slightly darker edge. And that brings us to Ivano Turco, who's the 21-year-old dancer who actually auditioned for a background part in this very show. They basically plucked him from the back of the room saying, hey, you got great hair, you have a voice of an angel, you're gonna be our prince now. Now, we covered a video of Turco performing a couple of months ago, so please go check that one out up top as well. But if that performance is any indication, the guy's more than ready for a leading role. And finally on our list, that brings us to Emerald Fennell, who has had quite the past 24 months, which included writing and producing the British TV series Killing Eve, playing Camilla Parker Bowles on the 4th season of The Crown, writing, directing, producing, and acting in the Oscar-nominated Promising Young Woman, and writing the book for this very musical. Now, I'm not saying she's setting the bar for badass women in this industry, but I am saying that she was pregnant with her first child while she was directing Promising Young Woman. She was the first British woman ever to be nominated for an Oscar in directing. And she's also the first woman in 13 years to win the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. And then in her acceptance speech just casually strolled up there and announced that she's pregnant with her second child. So in short, yeah, she's a big freaking reason why you need to go see this musical. And it's not like I'm staring into the camera begging to be invited to the premiere. That would be embarrassing. And it may be a premiere that's filled with fireworks, as Andrew Lloyd Webber just announced this week that his show is opening, whether the COVID restrictions are lifted or not. And I gotta say, that's kind of the sentiment we all have right now. The British government has been taking some heavy fire over their management of this pandemic. And if they really think they can stop this musical from happening, well, according to Webber, they're just unfortunately far too late. That's all the time we have for this video. Don't forget to leave me a comment of what you thought of this video and what you'd like to see in the future. Until next time, I'm Marc Daniel Patrick, and thanks so much for watching.